Oh, mate. Wellington Phoenix. I've been looking forward to doing a season review for Wellington Phoenix. We've been going through all of the other clubs and giving them a season review. And Wellington, of course, out of all the teams, have had such a unique season once again, playing almost the entire campaign away from home, away from New Zealand, only playing two games in their home country. Have done incredibly well to make it to the finals yet again under Ufuk Talay. And just tonight, we've just finished the live watch along for the elimination final where they lost out 1-0 to Western United. But you just have to admire what Wellington Phoenix have done this season against again a team who was written off, who people wrote off, me included. If you go back and look at my ladder prediction, I called Wellington Phoenix to finish last, and they proved everyone wrong. And it's really fascinating looking across their season and how up and down it was, because it wasn't all because they did finish sixth. It was the definition of up and down. They simply didn't enjoy drawing games. It was like that was either superb from Wellington Phoenix or disaster in some games. So, look, to open up the season, of course, the concern for them was the number of players that they were missing. When you look at the likes of the fact that Tom Mohamed, Ulysses Devere, Cam Devlin, Stephen Taylor, all these guys leaving the club, that it was a bit of concern in terms of who would be, the new leaders, who would be the star players to lead this Wellington Phoenix side. And look, overall, like there are some key players who we're going to talk about just in a second, but the team spirit, I think, from Wellington Phoenix to get them into a final spot at the end of the regular season just goes to show that overall, maybe more so than other teams in the top six, it was more about that togetherness as a team that really, was really, it was there in many games where they did hold on to win games and had a number of performances there that were quite impressive. And there were times where you thought this Wellington Phoenix side can beat any team in the competition. Look, we have to look at the two mid-season signings that they made, which I just think were absolutely fantastic. Gail Sandoval, superb. The Mexican arrived, scored a goal on debut, and just was the exact play that Wellington needed. They were lacking that attacking player, that creative player, someone different, someone to, because there's so much pressure on Reno Piscopo to be that attacking outlet for Wellington Phoenix. So it was important that Sandoval came in, and I thought he did a really, really good job. Scored a few goals there as well. Scott Wooten, though, I think was even more important. I mean, especially after Stephen Taylor left last season, they didn't really have that big tough man at the back. And Scott Wooten came in and did a superb job. I thought he's been absolutely incredible at the back for Wellington Phoenix to lead that side from the back. And they had some really solid defensive performances later on in the season. Of course, we will talk about some of those one-off games they had here and there where they conceded plenty of goals, because, of course, the goal difference didn't look quite healthy come the end of the season, but fantastic signings, those two, Scott Wooten and Gail Sandoval. We should talk about some of those losses. I mean, two 4-0 losses away to Newcastle Jets, 4-0 early on the season away to Adelaide, against Mariners, 5-0 away from home, and then, of course, that return game, which everyone was so excited for. What was it, 18,000 fans in Wellington for the Central Coast Mariners game, and then Mariners winning that one 4-0 as well. So, look, there were some games where Wellington unfortunately didn't show up, but when they were on song, as I mentioned earlier, they were capable of beating any team in the competition. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here, Wellington Phoenix. If we talk about the elimination final that we just did the watch along for, I mean, it was an admirable performance. I thought in the first half they weren't at their best in attack. They weren't quite playing with much. With much pace or much danger. They weren't looking quite dangerous. In the second half, they came very close, if it wasn't for some miraculous saves from Western goalkeeper Jamie Young. But there's some good young players there, really good young players at Wellington Phoenix. Sam Sutton, got to mention some players here. Sam Sutton, incredible, fantastic season from left back. Ollie Sale, I mean, what do I need to say? One of the best goalkeepers in the A-League this season. Some of the saves that he made were just phenomenal across this campaign. Finn Sermon was really impressive towards the end of the season as well, playing a handful of matches. Ben Wayne chipping in with goals as well. And look, they suffered injuries. I mean, Alex Rufa was out for the end of the season. Clayton Lewis missed a chunk of the season, as did Reno Piscopo. So key players picking up injuries, and they still managed to finish in the top six. We have to give so much credit to Wellington Phoenix, who did so well against all the odds. So you can see the season review is very positive, despite the fact that They only just, well, no, I was going to say they snuck into the top 6, but they didn't. They got in with a decent margin ahead of MacArthur FC. The goal difference wasn't pretty, but just the heart and spirit, just a thing that you have to admire. I think any fan in the A-League has to admire what Wellington Phoenix have done this season. Will Ufuk Talay stick around next season? There are all these rumours linking him to Sydney-based clubs, even some of their players potentially leaving. I think we know Gary Hooper's leaving now. So it'll be interesting to see what that Wellington Phoenix side looks like next season. And hopefully, if everything goes to plan, they will have a normal season, finally, back home in New Zealand, which I'm keen for, man. I'm just keen for them to get back home. I'm keen for a normal A-League season, please. That's all we're asking for. What do you guys make of Wellington Phoenix this season? And do you think they can crack finals once again next year, even if they do lose the likes of, their coach Ufuk Talay and some of those key players? It'll be interesting to see what Wellington look like next season. Guys, thanks for tuning in to this season review. Keep an eye on the Coast Watch Football YouTube channel for your club's A-League season review. We're going through every single club. Hit like on the video if you have enjoyed and you want to show your support. My name's Lockie. This is Coast Watch Football. See you in the next one.